That was me loading the wrong character. That's a good start for the day, isn't it? That sounds bad. So this is where we decided to pick up from yesterday, after all the problems that we had. So we've got coordinate coming up, which we had done yesterday. We tried a couple of new things, and the game gave us the opportunity to redo I think I forgot to save reset my spawn point back in my base, so I ended up at the solar panel vendor, which is where I wanted to respawn. I was planning on doing something around there. Can't even remember what it was now. Before I realised that the coordinate was so close. So this bit up here is like a small military camp, and I'm pretty sure that I've never actually looted the whole area. I've only ever gone through it on my way to the more interesting areas. So I have camp here on one of my games. I have a camp here on one of my games. And I have a camp here on one of my games. this is where I'm camped here. Pretty sure I have another camp somewhere else as well, but I only played that for a couple of minutes. But my main ones are camp that's here and the camp that's up here. Both of those saves are in various states of development, so I've basically got a little triangle on the map. And all of those places are really good. So this place is good because it's near to the Doings vendor. Can't see if you can actually see my mouse there, so yeah, okay. So this bloke here sells car parts. You need a lot of car repair kits in the first part of the game until you can make them yourself. And this bit here, this has lots of quarry, so iron ore and limestone in particular, which you will need in end game. It also has a lot of saltpeter, which you will need to make your own ammo in end game content. This we discovered was like a free spawning area. There's no zombies there, just the bear, which can be easily avoided, so we don't need to worry about that. That's a large area with lots of zombies in, so we don't tend to go there if we can help it. We got killed a few times there in the early days. You also have this area here that's pretty much the same. It's full of zombies. Go down here, this bloke here, I think this is the livestock bloke. Forgot to put it. I think we took a thing, but we forgot to take some boards. This is a military camp. I think this is a military camp as well. This is a shopping centre and council estate. I've literally only looted one building on here. That was the very first building, and we've been in the shopping centre. But on this playthrough, we have very many zombies spawn in one area. So the max amount of zombies that can spawn do spawn in an area, and often I think that it might be cached. So and then when I checked my settings, I did notice. Let's have a look. Where are the game settings? I found them yesterday by accident while I was doing something else. So I thought that was 100, maybe it's 125, but it's only, it looks like it's only 100 now. So that's fine. And it also looks like we can now change the amount of zombies that spawns. So we can actually reduce that down if we wanted to. I'm looking for none of this. Okay, so basically the game settings that you cannot change. And I have zombie spawns on 2. There we go. Information, there we go. So zombie wave attack cycle 7 days, wave scale 2. So 2 times. Now, I thought that just was relative to the Horde Night, but it might be that they respawn twice when you go into an area, because what we're doing is we're going into an area, we're looting it, coming back to the car and leaving the area where the loot is, and then when we go back, the zombies have respawned. Well, that could be 200 zombies. What I was thinking was 250 zombies. Now we know that it's definitely 100, not 125, so originally thought. So 2 waves would be 200 zombies. What I originally thought was that the... there we go, and it also says here, number of zombies 3 times. So that means that we could have potentially 300 zombies spawn in an area. And this is what's causing the problems on this playthrough. I'm not talking about the technical difficulties or me forgetting to save respawns. I'm talking about the availability of access to the resources that we require. So it's important to go to very particular places and loot particular items. We do have it on abundant to offset that. so that we don't have to. We're not forced into a situation where we have to fight 300 zombies with a pike, because that's not what we want. And also, just to make things a little bit easier, we've got our loot respawn intervals on the shortest as well. So those are what we're basically playing on at the moment. That's what's carrying us through the game. And I think they're quite, apart from the merchant restock and the loot respawn, obviously, loot quantity. If the world does go to shit and there is a zombie apocalypse and your neighbours all turn to zombies, you're going to have more than one car that you can drive. You're going to have quite a lot of food to begin with, because if you are the only person who survived in the world, you have a world supply of food to eat. So I don't really think that's too. I don't think that would be in any way unrealistic. So we're happy with that. What is unrealistic is obviously the fact that it respawns and that you have NPC vendors when you're supposed to be the only person left alive. It says no one survived apart from you, yet there's 7 vendors in the game. Okay, that's fine. So that's my justification for having loot quantity on abundant, and the loot respawns is because it's a game. So maybe this is the problem then. Maybe it's the fact that the number of zombies spawn 3 times. Obviously there's no tooltips that give you any extra additional information. So maybe that's feedback for the developer. Maybe you could give a little bit more information on what these things actually relate to. So these, I would assume, relate to horde nights. Zombie strength is an overall thing. Number of zombies in an area. How many times zombies spawn in an area. How many zombies you have, how many times number of zombies you have to kill before they stop respawning and you've got free loot mode. Now, if this is how many zombies are in an area, it takes between 2 and 3 bullets. So we'll assume I've been at work for a full day and it's taking me an average 3 bullets to kill a zombie, as opposed to when I'm in the zone and it only takes an average of 2 bullets to kill a zombie. So 3 bullets, 3 times 100 zombies, it's 300, times 3 bullets per 100, it's 900 rounds of ammunition we need to take into an area in order to clear it out. That's what we're dealing with. So it is mostly stealth. So you basically stealth and grab what you can. Assassinate as many zombies as you can silently, but only the ones that you need to. We have gone in all guns blazing before, and that's why we don't have any ammo now. We do really need to save our ammo for Horde Night, I'm afraid. We also need to finish making this glass, don't we? So, because we did this respawn is a bit of an honor. So do you see that? I set my respawn point. Ooh. Take an extra one. I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube last night while I was frustrated with myself. And a couple of people were asking why it's so cold inside, why the temperature changes while you're inside. And what I noticed was they were stood here next to the campfire and they weren't getting the benefit of the warmth. Okay? So just a hint for people who are having that sort of problem. My mouse has stopped working, so this does not follow. Bob got it caught in his legs yesterday while he was jumping around. just a hint for people who have that problem. You have to stand right next to the hop thing for it to register. So you can see there, I am stood. I can't get into it anymore. So that's full forwards on the thing. You can see that, and it's my cold resistance is down to minus 45 C. If I take a couple of steps away, 31. That's not that far away, and you can still use the furnace. Oh no, actually, I tell a lie, that seems to have had its radius increased a little bit. Oh, fantastic. So we had an update yesterday, still get it. So that's about the distance that you need to be from whatever it is that's warm. Maybe it's different for the campfire. Do you know what we can do? We can test it out. So yeah, as long as you can use the furnace, the smelting furnace at least, you will keep warm. Now let's check out the campfire. So we'll pop that in there. Oh, keep doing that. 31 degrees, 45 degrees. Yeah, so it is the campfire you can use from further away. So it's the smelting furnace has a wider radius. Obviously, the flame would be hotter in a real life situation. But the campfire, you can see that I can use the campfire there. I still feel cold, and my resistance is only at 31. So just edge closer, just stand as close as you can to it. That's the best idea. Voila. That could be my first short explanation of how chill zones work. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for bearing with me through that stumbled explanation. So, there's quite a few things that we need to do, isn't there? It's biggest one is actually we really need to be farming lumber at the moment. Trouble is that it is so cold. Now, if I remember rightly, we had, let's say, this hat was a little bit better for that. So this increased my cold resistance. So you'll see here, cold resistance is minus 31. I'll equip the hat. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll unequip the hat and then equip the hat. Minus 34. So it gives you an extra 3 degrees of tolerance. I like the woolly hat though. That seems a shame to not have to. So I think that so the boots cold resistance for the sports shoes. They're not sneakers. They're not very good for sneaking around in. They are very good for speed though. So wear them if you can. So cold resistance 10. That puts us on minus 35. And I think if I remember rightly, that is as warm as we can get. We've got a down jacket as opposed to an up jacket. Cold resistance plus 10, that's quite good for one of those, considering it's a sun hat. So I think I'm going to take these sports shoes out because these ones speed 25, these ones are speed 20, which is why I think I picked them up in the first place, but they are worse than those sports shoes, and I think they would do better as a sail than a. So I'm going to replace. I'm going to put those in that spot. Ooh, 45 cold resistance on trousers. That's 45. So these ones have a little bit more cold resistance because they're thickened. I can't point to where it says thickened because if I do the thingy drops. But yeah. And you can see here we have now that the tolerance is a lot greater, we're having less issues with what I really wish is that you could put pipe walls up. So a bit like the barriers that you've got now, only use spears for a slightly more attack orientated barricade. So these barricades, minus 37 outside, minus 33 inside, and that makes sense because I've got lots of fire going on in here. So one of the reasons that your temperature is varies inside and outside is that you have other stuff going on inside to make your life a lot easier. What were we saying? Something about barricades. So yeah, if you use pike barricades, you can really cool it, or even upgrade your barricades with spears to make them a little bit more, or give them a little bit more attack, make them do a little bit more damage. That'd be really cool. Shit, dude. Sorry, mate. I didn't know you were on. Sat here talking to myself. Right. We need electrician in as a next skill. And I think, I can't remember, I know we did get the books for the Electrician 4, but I can't remember whether. Lost that file, that save or not. This is another issue that I've got at the moment. I can't remember what we've managed to save and what we've lost into the ether. We lost a lot of work. We lost 4 hours work yesterday. Sometimes through game crashes, mostly through stupidity. It's an early alpha game, so we have to be accepting. So we have to be accepting. You don't have to accept the bug. If you don't accept the bugs, or you don't accept that it's not 100% a 100% perfect game, then just don't play it. But it is early access, and it's not going to be 100% on everything. And I accept that. You want to be in a point where you don't want to you don't want to have to go outside during the winter. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was one of one of the problems with having the horde number so high is that you don't get to loot places as frequently because of the high ammo requirement. Quick calculation based on what data we have available and assumptions, which may not be accurate, is that it takes 900 rounds of ammunition to clear out an area so that it's safe to loot. Obviously, you're not going to need that 900 rounds. I'd probably do something to limit that, definitely. But if you just went in on with an average, and tried to kill everything with a gun, on average, it would take you 900 rounds to take out every single zombie in an area. So we have to use a lot of stealth. We have to go in and we have to be methodical, and we need to take out strategic or make strategic assassinations, silent kills, takedowns, whatever you want to call them, from whatever walk of life you are from. So that is damn cold, 35. I'm going to stand back in front of my furnace. And so, and this is our trouble at the moment, is that we should be outside gathering logs, making our defences ready for horde night. We're not able to because it's too cold. So my recommendation yesterday is still my recommendation today. Put the interval between horde nights a little bit longer, so do it at 10 days. 10 days seems good for a lot of people. Now that I've got the hang of sort of watching other people on the YouTube play the game, I've noticed that one of the things that they do often is they change the date to 10. The reason being that it's a round number and you can remember. That's up to you. I don't have a problem remembering something, but 10 would still be my recommendation. And the reason that I recommend that is because your seasons are 10 days. So if you do 10 days, you get one in winter, one in spring, one in autumn, one in summer, almost guaranteed. Why is that insufficient? Oh, sorry, I need to make ingots. Here it is. So, is that so cold that even standing next to the thing? Because that is crazy cold. 38 degrees, minus 38 degrees. So, two things I'd recommend: putting your zombie cycle a little bit longer so that you've got more time between horde waves, and also making your years longer. That's the other thing, because I don't mind having 2 horde waves in winter as long as I can prepare for those 2 horde waves. So 100 zombie spawns wasn't in in this menu. Was it in this menu? It was in this menu. Information. There we go. So year's time, at 40 days I've got it on at the moment. That's the shortest. And that scales up. I think it goes all the way up to 360. Make that. Give yourself a longer time. Give yourself a longer summertime. We spoke before about having it taking 15 days to grow crops. So if you stagger your crops, you're only getting 1 growth out of every season. That can be quite difficult to manage. So, or to deal with. So, making your year longer will also increase the amount of food that you're able to, or the amount of times that you're able to use the boxes. So you're looking more at efficiency there. If you're you can create 30 boxes and have 30 days worth of food on the go at the same time, but that's going to be a pain in the ass to manage. Takes up a lot of room, takes up a lot of resources to actually build things in the first place. Once you've got them built, then that's fine. But in the early days, when you're only able to build a few boxes, you want to get the most use out of them at the time. I think we've got 4 now. We did start out with 6, but the zombies kept breaking. I don't think I used them this year because we were so close to getting the greenhouse, and then all of a sudden we were so late in the year that I wouldn't have been able to plant anything before I got the greenhouse up. Once you get the greenhouse up, you can build all year round. To begin with, though, it's very difficult to get to that point. Very challenging. Makes your game a lot harder. You're relying on vendors a lot more, and we don't really want to be relying on vendors too much. The idea is that you survive, not that somebody else survives for you, if that makes sense. So, minus 41. Oh. And there's nothing that we can do except watch the clock tick down. So if I go outside, what temperature is it outside? Minus 43. Crazy. One of the strange things with this is that, or that we've experienced, is that we've played these couple of days a lot, for reasons that we've already gone through and won't go through again, and it's the temperature changes every time we reset. So one playthrough I was caught out like this, but it didn't go into the 40s, it was just above where I could go to, so 38 outside, so I could run around inside and do what I wanted to do without too much trouble. I getting the occasional peak. And then I was able to go outside for a whole day and just farm logs. And we had enough logs. I filled up a whole truck with all my bags, and made all my defences, and then did me made boards with the rest. So I don't think I've managed to survive a horde night yet, though. That's why I keep respawning. But we're trying different things every playthrough. We try different things. One playthrough we tried popping the car out in the middle of nowhere, and that didn't work. We popped the car by the wall, and it broke one of the walls down, and it took ages. Like, the zombies just got stuck into this thing where they weren't moving around, and if I got out of the car, or when I got out of the car, they just stunned me, and I couldn't get back in, so I couldn't reset their position. We had another playthrough where I was able to reset their position quite easily and get back in the car without too much hassle. They flipped the car on that one, and then I died of I think I'd been hit, and I was infected, and I was running through the cold, and I was infected, and I ran past here, and as I was trying to use the campfire to block them off, and as I came around here, I just died. So I thought that's okay because my body's only there, my thing's only there, and then I respawned halfway across the map. So we lost that save as well. see what the temperature's like now. -34. It's 4 o'clock in the morning though, so I don't like using the doings. Don't like using the emotes because my camera gets left down here. Okay, you can see the temperature returning to normal-ish now. So, there we are, you see bugs. That's exactly why I don't like using... am I still gaining rest? I am still gaining rest. Not very much rest, but rest nonetheless. That's quite funny. Yeah. It's a good start. Neighbours have started shouting at each other again. Thanks, tree. That was my fault. I didn't see the tree spawn. That's my fault as well, because I didn't get enough space for you. There we go. Bird. Okay. Ah, dear. Same mistakes over and over again. Lost the stick. Yeah, we need sticks as well. We need sticks mostly for the top floor. I feel like I've forgotten something here. Yeah, the tankers are going around. That might actually be all that we were able to carry. Yeah, I don't like messing around with these bags because they're very small. They don't carry very much individually, but they do enable you to pick up slightly more. I did a calculation a few videos back, and that calculation was based on the biggest bags that you could put in those slots. So I don't have the biggest bags that I can put in those slots yet, but things like having 4 military backpacks as opposed to just 3 of these, you do gain more space. Oh, no, we needed that military. Just wanted to make sure that it was empty, not put it back in the picking truck. There you go. So now I just need to fill up my personal bag, and then we should be good to go. And one more should just make sure that I can run properly. And that, yeah, so I could probably pick up a couple more, but that means faffing, so I already do a lot of that. Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. See, I'm tired and cold now. Yeah, thirsty, sorry. Yeah, see, that's me overloaded. Yeah, when we get out, so the bags that we've got at the moment, some of them actually have online space, so we'll just make sure that we can dump the stick. But when you're taking bags out as well, shit. I already cocked up my car and myself. Don't damage the truck. what would be cool on games like this would be if you had your honestly, the truck doesn't work. When you have your campfire out, you have an X% chance of an event starting. And the event is that a wolf will come and lay by your fire without attacking you. I think that would be cool. That's not one of the bugs that I'm... I thought he'd come. Just have to heal through it. Free protein. I think last time we went through this playthrough, we did have a protein issue and we had to pop back to the what's it, and the vendor for some food, so that might actually be a gift. Blessing in disguise. You are a blessing in disguise. Make some stew. Silk rock. There you go. We know we need those for the awning, don't we? 40 days in a year. 40 plus 36, 76. 7 times 11, 77. So day 77 is our horde night. So I think the gushing wound, whatever you want to call it, does 130 points of damage. There you go, see. And I will use another medikit just to top off my health a little bit, because it's a pain in the ass when you get caught in your car and you've only got 10 health. And you need to reset that position. Doesn't always work. Yeah, I'm doing this, for some reason I'm doing this the slowest way possible. Right, what we need to do now is... I think for now, we're going to do what people have suggested. On the YouTube. Yeah, I want to be able to split fabric down into fibers. That's all that was. I was just seeing whether that was the thing yet or in the first place. I don't want that bag to despawn, so wow. Oops. One, two, three, 4, 5. So I need 15 logs. Can I carry 15 logs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12. I think it's 13 logs I can carry, so I'll just drop 3 there. And then if I have miscounted, it's not going to 2. Thing's empty. And we've got 24 hours. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ten, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14. So, how many do we need? Do 13, 14, 15, so we should have one spare log as we planned. I think you need 3 hours sleep for full. Or maybe 90. And now we're back cold again. I'm just gonna check. I just had a notification saying that we're not actually streaming. No, stream is healthy, I think. Back to cold. Right, we're gonna do some cooking. And while we're doing some cooking, that I'm ready for me Fortnite now, so we only get into trouble when we start getting distracted by other things. So I'm not gonna move things. But what we are gonna do is see if we huddle right up close to the cooking point. When I cook, does it increase the heat around me? No, it doesn't. There we go. We found one thing that doesn't actually. I can put it in the fridge. What am I thinking? Not sure. I forgot to check. How much does 1 hour use? So I'm 42. $66. So 24 points. Carbohydrates, we go foraging for mushrooms. So luckily a lot of animal protein has some carbohydrate in it as well. But I saw there's a few people on YouTube and Discord, and they're experimenting with different recipes to see what they can find, and they've managed to make things like sandwiches and all sorts. That's great. Good job. I'm quite happy to stick with a couple of mushrooms. We do cook everything at home, so it's gonna test out the recipe as well. Always home cook. We do eat out obviously, and we do have takeaways occasionally, but it's not regular enough to say like once a week or once a month. Sometimes we'll have 2 in a month. Sometimes we'll have 2 in a week. Sometimes we'll have 2 in a year. It's just whatever the circumstances around what we're doing. So I think the biggest thing really is when we go to somewhere like the theatre or a show or something, and we're coming back late at night. Everybody's a little bit hungry, but not enough to, you know, it's too late to cook a full meal. So we'll stop off at something like McDonald's, or there's a place near us that does. It's a bit like a KFC, or Dixie Chicken, I think, is a new one that's come up, and they do chicken burgers, chicken fillet burgers, and we tend to have one of those. So that's our late night snack food. That is chicken burgers. And then when we go out, we tend to prefer restaurants that we know have. Just checking this thermal generator while we're here, -35. Yeah, so the thermal generator doesn't generate therm. What was I saying? So vegetable soup has the herbs in it. That still does carbohydrate first. We're happy with that. And delicious stew does carbohydrate, mood, and physical strength with a little food buff on the top. Happy with that. As long as it's got carbohydrates in it. So yeah, we tend to cook stuff fresh at home anyway. I can't remember why that was part of the conversation. Oh yeah, we tend to cook stuff fresh at home. I was saying that my foraging skills on game are very much the same as my ones in real life. 90% of our food is home cooked, so even if we've started doing recently because we've had a lot more people to feed, is we do a massive pot of something, and then yeah, so we'll do a massive pot of something, and then boil it into a few days. Massive. So like if we have a stew, we'll do twice as much, or a spaghetti bolognese, and we'll do twice as much, and then we'll save about half of it, and then that's good for 2 meals. So even when we don't have time, we still have food to eat. But if I'm just cooking for me, I will literally just have mushrooms on toast. So and before now, when we haven't had any bread, and I haven't been asked to go and get some because you know my daughter's popped out for the weekend or something. I just haven't couldn't be asked to go to the shop and buy bread, so I've literally just had a bowl of mushrooms. When my daughter was actually young, we just used to eat bowls of sweet corn. That was quite funny. Right, I'll be 2 seconds. One of the things that I was going to do to shorten the length of some of these videos was to, in the early days, was to do all this sort of thing offline. But the problem is, if I suddenly log on and I've got 500 rubber blocks, how do you know that I haven't just spawned them in? Because I know that there's you have access to the admin console in this game. But the whole idea is that we do this without that. So we don't use cheat engine, and we don't use the admin console. And originally it was going to be like, how long does it take to get from fresh start to end game? End game being like you're crafting your own bullets and you can make penicillin and your own clothes, which are like, so you're farming your own oil, making your own weapons and ammunition. So how long does it take to get from nothing to everything? But increasingly it's become more obvious that a lot of that is relative to the amount of zombies that are around. When you have very few zombies spawn, there's very few zombies that you actually have to worry about, because even if they spot them, you can take them out, bang bang. And when you're tired, bang bang bang. You can carry a couple of handfuls of stone arrows and clear out an entire compound. When you have as many zombies spawn as in this game, you have to be very careful which zombies you alert, because they will bring everything down. And you will run out of ammo constantly. And if you get hit once in melee, and there's a couple of that basically you're out, you've got a horde and you die because you get staggered. So you get staggered by one zombie, but their hit time is what you would refer to as a swing timer. Is different for each zombie, and there might only be a split second. So your recovery time from stagger might only be 0.5 seconds. You just sort of stumble back, regain, and carry on. But if you've got 5 zombies and they're all 0.1 seconds apart, you're taking 5 hits in that staggered window. But also, each of those hits is also staggering you. So technically 2 zombies could stagger you to death. But their swing timers are large enough for you to recover and get away from them. But when they start stacking up to the amounts that we regularly have to fight, if you don't get that distance between you and them, you very rarely are able to recover from that. You get better at it as time goes on, but just make your life easy. If you want a game that's a bit of a challenge, as I was saying earlier, you want it to be a little bit a bit challenging, but still easy enough for you to play without throwing your PC out the window every 5 minutes. Put it on about one number of zombies, one. Years time, about 80 should be fine, or more. Pick if you want a relatively fast cycle, but enough to make use of your vegetable growing times. 80 is fine, should be fine. If you're happy to just bomb out, do all of your farming, do all of your canning, cook stuff at the last possible second to keep it as fresh as possible for the longest amount of time. Challenge yourself by doing 360 days. Your winters are going to be 3 months long. So it's like 90 days, more than that. So that's going to be a challenge as well. It's going to be as challenging to do a 360-day year as it will do 40. So pick a time that's in between that if you want an easier time. You want, I think 80 is enough. 120 would probably suit me because I like it a little bit more challenging than just a little bit challenging. I like it to be quite hard. That's why we haven't reset this game. When I realised that certain zombie spawning, that like the amount of zombies that spawned, and then and then later on realised that that's not the only set of zombies that respawn. I thought they were cached originally, so 125 zombies. But maybe the game could only pass like 50 zombies at a time, so it would respawn them that way. But looking at the settings, it looks like you have like your 100 zombies spawn 3 times. Happy with that. Just need to prepare for it. Can be a little bit frustrating, but you need a lot. I'm okay with a little bit of frustration. I try not to be too insulted. No. I don't like insulting people at the best of times. Try not to. Sometimes you can't help it. It doesn't matter what you say to some people; they will always find offence. I don't have to mention any names for people to know who I'm talking about, but yeah, just find a level that's comfortable for you. My recommendation: only one zombie spawn. So number of zombies 1 times. Years time 80, 120 if you're like me and you like a little bit extra. Loot quantity abundant. 100 zombies. Maybe 80 zombies if that's an option. You can do 70 zombies. 70 zombies should be fine. Do it, have fun. If you don't like it, but first place on the map that you want to try is run from this start area here all the way over to this town here. And if you don't like the difficulty clearing out that area, particularly the petrol station, because petrol station you'll find like water bottles and stuff, which are really good for early game. So if you don't like how difficult it is clearing out that petrol station, just restart the game. You haven't lost more than a few minutes, so. But ultimately you need to play the game as you feel comfortable playing it, so I'm happy with this. I make no excuses for my poor play. I will say I'm quite happy to admit that I'm tired, not playing my best. Quite happy to admit when my skill isn't good enough. It's a game. That's if you refer to me as a gamer, I'm a dad with some free time. If I'm honest, not really much of a game. I'm not a streamer. Just a dad with some free time. Having fun with some friends, that's it. So play the game as you want to play it. You might think that what I've got is too easy because it's not been too difficult to get this far. Could have done it a lot sooner, but I do a lot of faffing around. I'm happy to admit that. A lot of faffing around. Sometimes you build a house, you just want to wander around the house, have a look. You say, "Look, I built that." I don't have to apologise for that. Neither do you. That looks a bit boring there, doesn't it? There's just going to be a wall of wood. So maybe we bring this all in all the way across, although that's a 3/4 wall, isn't it? So, we'll figure something out. But we need to get Horde Knight out of the way first. Because at the moment, that's the biggest thing. That's another thing that I recommend is sticking Horde Knight on 10. And we're going to get our metal bow back as soon as possible. So we can make them now. I want to be in a good place with my materials so before I start making bows and things like that. What does it need? 2 steel ingots. Not really bothered about the plastic, the skin and the rubber, but it's the ingots. They are quite valuable at this stage of the game. Particularly for unlocking new things. That's not working, it's gone off. Don't actually need it on at the moment. We'll put it on anyway. I thought we could make. I thought we had 9, 9, and 7 yesterday. Maybe we picked up some extra limestone that I didn't see. Don't need any more copper. Don't want any more copper. I'm honest. Got a few slices of copper here. Oh, we need them for delicate parts, don't we? So maybe we will make a few, or we've got a couple of them go. That's 4 stacks. That'll be fine. Got loads of aluminium. Aluminum. Sleep is what we need. Carbohydrates. I think I ate all the carbohydrates then. Speaking of carbohydrates, gonna have a cookie. Right, it's 3 o'clock. So 4, 5, 6. So 2 hours sleep. Make sure we're fully rested. sure all our doors are open. Oh, you know what they say? When zombies attack. Thought they might despawn. This side's better than the pistol and rifle sights. Brains. Is that it? Okay, that was easy. Right. I'll check to see how much ammo I used. That's 12 and 15. 12 and 30, 12 and 12. So yeah, just 2 clips. Minus whatever's in my shotgun now. So 36 ish. I don't think there would. Yeah, well, you'd notice it less with machine guns because it probably would have been easier with the machine gun because you can just put it on 3 bursts and pop, 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 and if you get lucky, then that's 3 headshots from 1 burst. But not worried about that necessarily. Shotgun more of a spread. It's like push and back sort of thing. So shoot them in the leg and they fall over quite quickly. Right then, so now we need to go back to building. You know what we haven't got? There we go. Let's just calm down a second. Adrenaline surging after the raid. The dog's asleep and making funny noises. Here's another tip for crafting. If you're crafting a lot of things but you only have a part stack, put the part stack in first. So those should be the other way around. You should do 3 and then 9, because that 3 is going to come up a lot sooner. And if it's only 1 or something like that, then you can wait until that 1 is finished and then dump another 9 into plan. Whereas what I'd have had to do if I was doing more than 5 stacks of 9, I'd have to wait for a 9 to finish. Hey mate, you had babies yet? No. Let's see if you have babies in the spring. Don't really know. No, I don't know anything about building houses much. So, what I know isn't really from any practical experience. It's what my dad does for a living. He's a builder. He keeps roofs on houses in cold weather. Where he lives is incredibly cold. He does mostly roofs. Although I wouldn't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. I know he works on roofs. Whether that's exclusively roofs is beyond. But he used to do building work when he lived in this country. sort of a few. I know he did a few barn conversions, but he also used to do stuff like mend gates and cars and all sorts of stuff. So it's not exclusively building. There's a lot of mechanical stuff involved. Welding. Yeah, just throwing words out there. So I've seen stuff done, never done anything myself. So. Well, not into no. Yeah, okay. So I'll put a plasterboard dividers, stuff like that. Yeah. No, that's not really building a house. Okay, no. Right then. Yeah, this was what this roof was for. So that green there shows that we can put a shed on the roof, garage on the roof. Took that one down to move it back. So I forgot where the ladder was. There we go. 2 greenhouses. So we're back to farming basic materials again. Let's just stick some of the logs. I'd love to be able to grow fruit trees. Yeah, that's what I want. I think the developer's got enough on his plate at the moment without adding more wants and needs to the list. There's things that a lot of people are crying out for, like dedicated multiplayer servers. So I think he should really focus on what his players want. If his player base are asking for specific stuff, I would like trees. It's okay. I think maybe wall this area off, take down the solar panels and pop them up where near the greenhouse, and then have this full of bee things, or maybe even another barn. So I really feel like I should have had the barn the other way around. But I've got animals in there now, so I'm not really worried too much about it. What do we need? We do need simple parts. Oh, we need 2 simple parts then. We need lots of plastic, rubber, glass, delicate parts, and toolboxes. So we'll probably go on a toolbox. So glass and delicate parts now. Ah, no. Because we need to build the hydroponics boxes as well. So it's not just a case of quickly. We still have a lot to do. I'm gonna build the furthest one first though. So you can see it's not difficult to actually get that. I just need 6 more glass really. But to get the 6 glass, so toolboxes, you just got to go down and grab them. the boards. You just need to farm some logs and do. So there's not much really that you need. It is just the doing of it. Logs, long time to farm. Sticks don't take as long as logs to farm, but they still take time. If you having trouble sort of what you call it, farming them, random not random farming, I don't know. Still haven't decided on a name for that yet. So we will go down to our shop. And pick up some toolboxes. I mean, we need 20 at the least. Shot across the road yet. It's important to have stocked up before winter. There's the bear. There he is. Where's the bird? There's the bird. I might have to kill the bird to get out the shop. I forgot you find a little bit of ammo in here. Maybe it'd be worth coming down here a little bit more often. I don't really think that's... You wouldn't be able to do that in the real world. You would come to the same shop over and over again, but the loot wouldn't respawn. There's a balance between realism and gaming. I mean, you don't want it to be too realistic, and every time you die, you have to start your brand new character again, being born 50 to 30 years old, the world going to shit and you surviving. But at the same time, you don't want to... You don't want it to be like, and then a dragon came. Dragons have their place. That's what we play well for. gonna have to take a chance, I'm afraid. Well, we need to get the greenhouse up before the end of winter, so that we can start planting seeds as soon as possible. So it's not that we need to get it up to start planting seeds now, it's that we need to get it up to start planting seeds later, as soon as possible. So yeah, I just wanted to force the spawn so that I could see what I was dealing with. No. I need them. Need them. I wasn't going to come here. But I just want to see what I'm dealing with. So let them spawn. I know, man. Spotted noise. Three bullets. Yeah, sound's just gone off. I'll loot them to despawn them. So that I know that they're not going to get back up. That's the stagger I was talking about earlier. Limestone I'm after. There you go. Between 2 and 3 bullets each. Alright, just need to go let the cat in. How many limestones do you have? 9, that's enough for 2 panes of glass. So, let's go. You've got to go let the cat in, so I don't want to leave yourself exposed. Maybe not leave yourself with a car running either, because that's a bit silly. Sit in the back of the car. And then it's easier to get a car parked than it is to cold Oh, Milo is lovely. Yeah. Fucking mouse is gone again. There we go. Going to come back a little bit more prepared. We've only got a few days left of winter as well, so while we're here, puffballs. Yeah, so where we are, we get sort of oyster mushrooms. They're edible, and puffballs. Puffballs we don't always like to take because they can be a little bit funny, but you can eat them, and if you find a perfect one, then obviously eat one. Apart from that, it's just store-bought mushrooms. I don't go foraging for mushrooms on a daily basis. Like just buy them from Morrison's. But if we were ever in a position where we had no food and we were stranded somewhere, and we came across some mushrooms, I'd know which ones to 100% which ones I can eat, and 100% which ones I want to stay away from because I don't know whether I can eat them or not. So with mushrooms, it's better to not take the chance. If you're not 100% certain that it's an edible variety, just don't take the risk. So we have what you would call a closed cap mushroom if you were putting it on a shelf in the supermarkets. We have that here. It grows all in the graveyards and everything, but it looks so much like a death cap. But it's stuff that you can't eat. That it's not worth picking. We've got some really nice examples. What we do is we take a picture of them, and if it's good enough and it's not already claimed or as food for like slugs and stuff like that. Slugs absolutely love them. But yeah, if it's not already claimed and home to other bugs and critters that need it as a source of food, and we will take a gill print, and at the very least just photograph it. So we've got some nice photos of some local mushrooms. But you go to the forest nearby, which we've got several forests nearby, but a particular forest. There's a few farms in the areas that we take the schools to. They'll invite a school up and they'll do a bit of a forest school day, which is great. And they actually have things like the red toadstools that everybody knows, the Amarita muscaria and that. So I'm sure it's got loads of names. You're not wrong. Nope. That's fine. Hey, mate. Yeah, please don't do that, Milo. Oh, thanks. Yep. Right then. The cat won't let me play anymore, so I shall be. I'm just going to go sort the animals out, and then I shall be back shortly. Save, and make sure that your respawn points are set correctly. That's the lesson that we learned from yesterday. Right, catch you later.